Alright, so this is for Hensenfm. Um, and basically, the biggest issue right off the bat is perspective and mood. So what I mean by that is, let's first go with perspective. Um, Looking at your base here, I'm just going to kind of draw accordingly. This starts with your base perspective. Now, the problem you have is if this is the sidewalk perspective, then this perspective here lies, starts basically another vanishing point over here. And so what you need to do is instead line up this stuff according to an individual perspective. So if I'm going to use the sidewalk as a base perspective, which is okay because you're actually drawing your eye towards the character using that aspect. So looking at that, then you can see how by your individual buildings are now completely at a different perspective. All right, so it changes that aspect as well. And then things like this, as you can see, would be completely different as well. So the other aspect you have going on with your issue is this forward lines. While it works to some extent right here, when I go this way, it doesn't work at all. So those lines need to change itself. The second thing too is scale. If you've got this character and this character is 6 feet roughly, let me just deal with this in a different color. So if this character is roughly 6 feet, all right, um, we'll say like something like that. So what happens is as this character gets smaller, and I'm just going to kind of guesstimate, but it would come from here to this vanishing point, and I'm trying to figure out where the sidewalk would start. So it would be probably from here to this vanishing point there. So if that is what's considered 6 feet, then this telephone pole here is only like 9 feet. All right, so scale is going to completely change as far as that goes. What would basically happen is you would get, um, from a visual standpoint, this this should be way a lot higher. So it should be coming out here, something like that. The other aspect is, think about a character's width. A character's width is average of 2 feet here, and so every 2 feet, and this is just a rough estimate with the flail and stuff, but every 2 feet is so on and so forth. So this car width is only 3 feet, so it's a one-lane car, which is okay, but again, pay attention to scale. Same thing going on here. These windows would be tiny. They would be drastically smaller, and so that you need to pay attention to how scale works as far as that goes. Um, and then the other aspect that I would say is the mood of the character. So I'm just going to kind of fix. We're just going to grab this and let's. This character is roughly somewhat like this, and then so that makes it a little bit better. But then this here would kind of climb up there. Alright, so that basically makes it much more like perspective, and the puddle itself would be in as perspective as well. The other aspect too is you're running into, how wide is the street? That's another aspect that you want to pay attention to too, because if this is the crosswalk, there would be a crosswalk on the other side, and that alone right there causes, scale issues. So you need a second vanishing point, something over here, to kind of give you this idea of the way scale would work. And so if this is my vanishing point like so, this is the scale. So what that means is everything now gives, now you have some sort of perspective to go along. So basically like this, and then this would be 2 feet across here. And then it would be again to this vanishing point, and then again 2 feet. So again, you need to figure out your scale, and so that you can understand how far to go back, because this road would only be like 6 feet back, and that's too small. So that's something that we want to pay attention to. And the way you have the lights, if the light source is this bright, which is nearly white, then the character itself should be drowned in black. And it's just there's you should see very little of this character as far as the lights, because the light is shining so thick and so black, and that leaves other aspects that you want to kind of play with. Like I would definitely bend out the elbows to bring out this information out here, something like this. And so now that looks a little bit more ominous silhouette. However, if you tone down this light source in the back, then what you can do is, by toning down this light source, then you can bring more of that character in the foreground. And then this would also create a stronger light source this way. So, and especially right here, it would almost give you that dark aspect of your character. And so those would help silhouette the character a little bit more. All right, I hope that helps.